Birthdays are among the most joyous occasions in life. Birthday greetings from loved ones make the experience even more memorable, and a daughter wound up taking birthday greetings to a whole new level. This is the story of when her dad with Down syndrome turned 50, a woman exposed the truth about her parenting. But before we dig deep, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to get updated whenever a new video is published. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. There seems to have been a lot of misconception when it comes to an individual with Down syndrome. A parent with Down syndrome may face substantial difficulties in raising a child. Women with Down syndrome, on the other hand, are fertile and can have offspring. Men's fertility is limited as per older research that is now being re-evaluated. Richie Ann Castillo, a Facebook user from Cebu, Philippines, did something absolutely unusual to wish her father, Richard Castillo, a happy birthday. On June 2nd, 2020, when her dad turned 50, she contemplated whether or not to wish her father a happy birthday on Facebook. She was not comfortable with her private life being seen by others, most especially when it came to her father. She wrote him a note and put it on her Facebook page. Then, something interesting happened not long afterwards. Her message elicited far too many responses and shares that it had over 222,000 replies and 69,000 shares as of the time of writing. Richie Ann's post expressed a daughter's unwavering love and appreciation for the most significant man in her life, her father, who has Down syndrome. What is Down syndrome? Down syndrome is a genetic condition produced by an unusual whole or partial duplicate of the 21st chromosome due to faulty cellular division. Down syndrome is characterized by developmental delays and physical characteristics caused by excess genetic material. Individuals with Down syndrome have varying degrees of intellectual disabilities and developmental problems. It's the most frequent genetic cytogenetic condition in kids and the most significant cause of cognitive impairments. It is also known to create other medical issues, such as cardiac and gastrointestinal problems. Down syndrome's distinctive traits and development issues are caused by this additional genetic information. Down syndrome can be triggered by any of 3 gene mutations. Trisomy 21 is a genetic disorder. Down condition caused by Trisomy 21 means that the individual has 3 copies of chromosome 21 rather than the typical 2 copies throughout all cells. Trisomy 21 accounts for approximately 95% of the cases of Down syndrome. In either case, it is produced by an aberrant cell division that occurs during the formation of a sperm or an egg cell. Down syndrome with Mosaic pattern. In this rare variant of Down syndrome, an individual has very few cells with an additional set of chromosome 21. Rather than all of them, the aberrant cell division that occurs after fertilization results in this mosaic of normal and defective cells. Translocation Down syndrome is a genetic disorder. Pregnancy or shortly after conception can result in the development of Down syndrome with a fragment of chromosome 21 that gets linked, translocated to another chromosome. Although these youngsters have the usual 2 copies of chromosomal 21, there is an extra genetic code from chromosome 21 connected to some other chromosome in addition to the regular 2 copies. Is it inherent? The majority of the time, Down syndrome is not passed down via families. It is characterized by abnormal cell division that occurs during the fetus' initial stage of development. Translocation Down syndrome can be handed down from one generation to the next. In reality, only more significant than 3 to 4% of children with Down syndrome possess translocation, so only a tiny percentage of those individuals acquire the condition by one of their parents. The mum or dad inherits some genes on chromosome 21 that have been altered upon that chromosome, but no additional genetic information. This is known as balanced translocation inheritance. This means that they do not show any indications of Down syndrome, but can carry an imbalanced rearrangement onto children, resulting in the development of Down syndrome in the offspring. It is possible to live a long life. Individuals with Down syndrome are living longer lives than they did only a generation ago. In today's world, a person with Down syndrome might have a life expectancy of more than 60 years, depending on the nature of their medical conditions. Going back to the story, "Dear Dad," she wrote on her post, "today marks the beginning of an exceptional and incredibly extraordinary chapter in your life. You are celebrating your 50th birthday today, and I am grateful that you continue to live such a long and wondrous life. Despite this, doctors continue to be amazed by it. My heartfelt congratulations on becoming my father. I realise you will not see this because I do not know whether you have a Facebook account, but I want the entire world to know how grateful and proud I am to have you as my father. The entire world should be aware of how lovely you are on the inside and outside. This is what the 23-year-old Cebuana had to say about growing up with a father who has Down syndrome. The woman explained that it took her many years before she could muster the guts to stand up to anyone and everyone, and not everyone is aware of the entire truth, since it is incredibly confusing. When Richie was in elementary school, she used to get targeted and tormented because people thought she was unusual. As a child, Richie didn't perceive you as being different. Instead, she perceived you as her father. The reason they were making a mockery of her and calling her odd was beyond Richie at the time. Richie realised what was going on later, and that made her a coward. But Richie is more deserving of respect than a cowardly daughter that she is. Richard deserves the same love, compassion, patience and acceptance that any other person with Down syndrome should have received. So there she goes, sitting while creating a birthday message for her father, since she has never done anything like this before. Richard is utterly deserving of more than that. Richie Ann praises her father's fortitude as he underwent all of the medical procedures he had to undergo. Dad, you are indeed the toughest and most courageous human being I have ever met. For virtually your entire life, you have permitted doctors to stick needles into you, do minor procedures here and there, spend your entire life on dialysis, and subject you to a long list of restrictions. You, on the other hand, are rarely dissatisfied. I put my trust in the Lord, who is the strongest thing you've ever said after all these surgeries, procedures, and nights that were spent in the hospital. Even after a long day at the dialysis facility, or even after a hypoglycemic episode, you always manage to put a grin on your face. Because you have gone through so much, you have never been afraid that you are the bravest person on the planet. I can't put myself in your position. I've seen you at your worst when you would break down and confess that you were exhausted, she added. Listening to the phrases, "Kapoi nei, I'm tired," or "Sakit ko, I'm hungry," the words "it really hurt" made me cry for days, and I couldn't handle the thought of going back to the hospital. You had lost your teeth, yet it didn't disturb you, or prevent you from enjoying the foods that you adore, she says. You usually seem to misplace your postizo, dentures, and I'm sure it's on purpose. What I hadn't remembered was how you looked with your teeth or without your hair. Richie Ann wished she could go back in time and tell herself she was proud to have Richard as her father. No number of words can express how sorry I am for being an absent daughter, and I really apologise. You have my apologies for not taking you to the beach more frequently, for not bringing you your favourite dim sum cuisine, and for not visiting you more frequently than I should. In retrospect, it's the fact that I chose to keep you out of my life, since I'm still the same small baby girl who was frightened of being bullied. But Dad, you know how much I adore and admire you, and how much you inspire me every single day. Everyone loves you, and you are well aware of this. Everyone's faces would always be brightened by a smile and a chuckle when you were around. You irritate a lot of people as well, but we still adore you. While I recognise that you have good days and terrible days, I also recognise that your bad days are your awful days as well. You can be abrasive at times, and you tend to drive people away, including me. But that's just your opinion, and that's fine. It's quite acceptable to be different. I could go over and over about you, but that would take too much time and space. Richie Ann concluded her letter by listing all of the things she admires about her father. And how much does Richie Ann regard her father as a father figure? This was the most succinct statement. Congratulations on your 50th birthday, Daddy. Thank you for always treating me as your one and only baby girl, because that's exactly what I am and always will be. I am strong and fearless as a result of your influence, and I adore you, Father. I believe I have grown to the point where I can protect myself against bullies. Your daughter sends her heartfelt greetings.